Hello, welcome to Respect the BTCN.
Bitcoin, man. What's going on, guys?
Why do you call it Bitcoin main?
It just sounds catchy.
Okay, Bitcoin
Sounds like
main. Good stuff, guys. A lot of crazy stuff happening today. We've got, of course, Nayib Bukele of El Salvador. He has officially accepted Bitcoin as legal tender in their country, and they passed the law in how many days? Like 2 days?
Yeah, within
2 days ago.
He announced it at the Bitcoin mining conference. He said, "I'm going to commit to this. Within this week, I'm going to talk to my Congress, and I'm going to pass it, and then it's up to them to sign it into law." And we are now. It's Wednesday. We're passed. We're live.
Yep.
Bitcoin's now an official currency in El Salvador.
Yep.
Amazing.
I went through the law that was documented in some of the articles that he published on his Twitter account in another video, and they said within 90 days they're going to create the infrastructure, the training, and allow shops to basically exchange, small and large shops exchange products in Bitcoin. So this is going to be huge.
That's awesome. Yeah, retailers are going to be required by law to accept it alongside cash. U.S. dollars, the Koreans are still
right
a little bit in circulation, but yeah.
And mostly they're using dollars anyway.
Yeah.
That's right. Their currency, I think, is decommissioned.
Yeah, for the most part, they're basically transacting in U.S. dollars since 2001.
Yeah.
And you can get change in their old currency, but eventually that goes back to the bank anyway. So it's getting out of circulation.
Yep, going back to the dollar.
Yep.
But now it's going to be Bitcoin. That's huge competition for dollar. But anyway, his recent tweets about renewable energy are really exciting. Let's take a look at these. I mean, I've instructed the president of this particular company, state-owned company, geothermal electric company, to put up a plant to offer facilities for Bitcoin mining with very cheap, 100% clean, 100% renewable, zero emissions energy from our volcanoes.
Wow, volcanoes.
And he's saying this is going to evolve fast. So he's really becoming a front runner in evangelizing Bitcoin as a renewable energy renewable energy positive.
Yeah, that's right.
For the energy space, and this is huge.
Yeah.
And then I found this video pretty cool. Yeah, this is literally water vapor, just energy. That they're going to harness to start mining Bitcoin.
That's awesome. What does that say? 95 million watts of 100%
megawatts, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, megawatts. Sorry, million watts. Megawatts of 100% clean, zero emissions geothermal energy from our volcanoes. That's awesome.
Yep.
And he's building the infrastructure. He's got proof of it too. He's not just talking about it. That's amazing.
Starting to design a full Bitcoin mining hub around it. This is huge. What do you see coming out of the well is pure water vapor. Now that's really insane. And here's the thing. I don't think first of all, Bitcoin miners will never stop mining Bitcoin.
No way.
Because it takes a lot of infrastructure. I'm not just talking about the servers, but they have to source their energy from somewhere. They're going to have hydro power plants already set up.
Yeah, that's right. And with these new energy sources, like we're hearing about volcanoes now, like who knows what's next, right?
Yep.
This is going to create a whole new market for renewable energy. There's going to be companies out there coming up with new latest and greatest tech to do renewable energy specifically for mining. Just like NVIDIA made gaming GPUs, and now they make mining GPUs.
Right.
So there's going to be companies that are going to specifically build out renewable energy infrastructures. And there's just a start. And just like all these tech giants built the first domino to drop over and start the whole, I'm going to call it a Me Too movement on Bitcoin positivity, right?
Yeah.
He's doing it on a governmental level, right? He's the first of 190 something countries that are going to get into. So this is awesome news.
Yeah.
Great.
This is a bigger deal than Michael Saylor because that's still a company that's under the umbrella of the U.S.
That's true.
Under the umbrella of the SEC.
Yeah.
This is a different country that allows travelers to go there. You can exchange your Bitcoin for dollars without paying tax.
And eventually
that's huge.
I can't wait till countries start trading with one another with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because right now they have an exchange problem where if two countries don't necessarily agree on their trade practices, they have to use a third country. Like, hey, we want to buy from this country, but we don't want their currency, so we have a good relationship with you, so let's buy through you, and you facilitate the transaction. They take fees.
Yep.
So it's like a Western Union on a giant scale. Mm-hmm. But if they don't want to deal with their national currencies, they can just trade in Bitcoin.
Yeah, they can.
And eliminate the middleman.
Yep,
right?
yep.
So that still has to come, and he's opening the doors for something like that to occur. So
Yep,
this
yep.
is great. This is great.
Yeah, this is a big threat to the dollar, by the way, in my opinion.
For
That's
sure.
gonna, and I think there's plenty of plenty of countries in Central America that really probably don't really like the U.S. much, because, like, for example, Venezuela, and there's probably so many other countries that were affected negatively by the U.S. involvement in various political agendas. But there's probably going to be more countries to come, and this is basically the guinea pig of Bitcoin, in my opinion, as at a country level. They're going to test the Lightning Network. This is going to be a huge test for the Lightning Network.
Right.
And again, Bitcoin miners are not going to stop, because guess what? This energy, once its infrastructure is built to harness this energy, electricity is free. A lot of people don't get this. Electricity is free once they get this energy harnessed.
So that removes the whole profitability argument.
Yeah.
That it's going to get too expensive to mine at some point.
Right.
And it's no longer going to be profitable. If you have free energy, then time is your only limitation, really.
Yeah.
And if you have a strong operation, then you can even cut that down. So.
Yep. If you're generating enough megawatts or terawatts through, let's say you have a massive river that runs through your country or waterfall, you harness that energy in a hydropower plant. That's free electricity. Once you've built that infrastructure, you can keep mining Bitcoin, and you're literally getting Bitcoin for free.
It's exciting stuff.
That's huge.
Exciting
Okay. There's 1.16 billion homes in the world. Residential units, they call it. That's a lot of residential units, but compare that to the size of Bitcoin. There's only 21 million Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Now that 1.16 billion residential units does not include commercial property, real estate of all types, parks, lots, acreage, farmland.
Yeah.
So
Or units that still have to come out.
yes,
There's going to be billions of more units coming out as the world's population increases, but Bitcoin's got a fixed supply.
Bitcoin's got a fixed supply.
So,
21 million.
and 18 million of that is already taken up.
Right.
It's growing by
pretty
the
much.
hour.
Yep.
It's growing by the hour.
So this thing's gonna change pretty quick, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Let me give you, you want to show the video about the whirlpool?
yeah,
thing?
let's check it out. Yep.
You want to just cover this because you're better with hydroelectricity. and
Yeah,
stuff.
so essentially what we're looking at now is a form of infinite energy, if you will, right? Creating unlimited energy using a water source 24 hours a day with only a single moving part, which is that turbine you see there. Everything else is literally concrete and dug up ground for the water source to come in. So essentially what's happening here is there's a natural water source, right? A river or a stream of some sort. They're digging some ground next to it at a lower level to divert the flow of that water, bring it into this hydro turbine, which through rotational force from the water generates electricity. And then that electricity it's pretty much unlimited, and it's going to its own power grid.
as long as that river runs, this electricity will always be there.
Yeah, and these rivers run for millions and millions and millions of years.
Yeah. Yep. Like
So-
that's really cool. Like that's a canal or a river of some kind.
Yeah.
And they're creating that gravitational,
Yep. They just
I
dug
guess-
it out, and
yep.
they're about to show. This is how they do it. They cut up the ground,
Wow.
install the basin, then they lift the dam, and start the flow of water.
So that's that little circular thing right
Yep.
here.
That's
So
that one moving part. Yeah.
that's the only moving part,
That's
guys.
it. So imagine how reliable this is,
Yep.
right? When you talk about renewable energy, one of the problems is there's so many moving parts and different,
Like
things that
solar.
go into it. Yeah, there's electricity, there's different things that actually need to be present before you can actually generate electricity.
Yep.
But this is literally strictly mechanical.
Yeah.
Strictly
Just
mechanical.
one moving part.
Yeah. And the water
That's
is going to
incredible.
flow forever.
Yeah.
So as long as this turbine's good,
So
you're going
they-
to have electricity.
So they just send the water to this turbine, and then they send it back into the
Yeah,
river.
exactly.
So they don't waste any water.
There's no wastage.
They're
No
just
wastage.
using that velocity and force.
Exactly. Which is Mother Nature. It's present. It's
Yeah.
present in so many different ways. I mean, I haven't heard of anyone trying to use natural occurring lightning yet
Wow.
for electricity. Imagine when they
Wow.
harness that. That's
that
gonna
would
be
be
nuts.
that would be an insane
all
amount.
coming.
That's
It's
like
all
Back
coming.
to the Future, right?
It's all
like how he
coming.
was able to send that
Yeah,
part.
like weird science
Yeah.
where they need electricity to bring that chick to life.
yeah, yeah.
It's just like that.
Well, this is cool, guys. I mean, I think real estate is changing every day, but like real estate with running water source is going to go up.
It's going to go up.
Did you know Bill Gates is now the biggest landowner, private landowner in the United States of farmland? I'm sure he owns plenty of waterfalls and plenty of moving water sources.
He's got plans.
Yep, he's got plans.
Yeah.
Whether it's energy, whether it's HOAing everything, or whatever his plans are. But this is huge, guys.
We were driving outside of Las Vegas on our trip recently, 2 weeks ago. We were in Vegas, and we're driving out into Valley of Fire, and on the highway, on the way there, all you have is desert and mountains in the distance, and thousands and thousands and thousands of miles of literally barren land. And I saw an ocean of solar panels. An
Wow.
ocean. We're on the highway going 80 miles an hour, and it took us like 10 minutes to drive past this thing.
10
From
minutes to
start to
drive all those solar panels.
It was nuts. Imagine how much they're generating, and more importantly, what's the usage for all that? What are they going to do with all that electricity?
Yep. Bitcoin's it, guys.
Yep.
There's no denying it. And countries are going to get into this because the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, they're the ones that provide funding in U.S. dollar terms to countries that need loans and so on. They're like the international bank, so to speak.
Right.
And it's based on the dollar, really. What if you don't need IMF anymore? If you have hydro plants set up, you're getting free electricity in your country using natural resources.
Completely
renewable,
self-sustained.
completely self-sustained.
With a one-time cost.
With a one-time cost. And now you're getting Bitcoin sort of every day automatically. That's your fund now. You don't need the IMF.
In the first time in history, countries are going to have the opportunity to grow their economies risk-free.
Yep, self-sufficient. They're not dependent on some bonds of another country or having to rely on the IMF to jump in. This is incredible. And the president of El Salvador is a pretty young guy. I think he's 39 years old. He's a little older than I am, and we are. So he's definitely a forward thinker. And that also shows that the majority of the population in El Salvador are young. That voted him into power. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other countries, like, for example, Pakistan. They're doing some things from what I've heard. This guy named Bakar Zaka, who's like up in the North Mountains doing Bitcoin mining. So this is really cool stuff. But anyway, I'm going to sign out here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we covered it all, guys.
Yep.
I mean, the important thing to know is forget about the bear and bull markets. Look at what's going on in the world.
Yep.
There is no way that this is just a speculative asset anymore.
Yep.
Not only, like we talked about in our last videos, right? We have financial institutions starting to look into this. Visa, PayPal. Apple just submitted a patent for some sort of a financial vehicle, right? A digital financial vehicle. We don't know what that means yet.
Yep.
But it's in the patent office. You can Google this. It's there. So this stuff's here to stay. And now that it's in a government level, it's like wildfire. It's going to spread globally. There is no longer a border for Bitcoin when it comes to countries.
Yep.
Before it was all personal, right? You could do it on Coinbase. You could send it to your friend in a different country. But everybody was worried that maybe there was some FUD in the market because, countries might ban it or this and that. But eventually, the important thing to know is the countries that don't accept Bitcoin and are still going to hold their mouths shut and say, no, we're banning it, they're going to get left behind. And a country like El Salvador suddenly has the opportunity to become a world power.
Yep. They're working on geothermal energy, hydro energy, probably wind.
Yeah.
And so many other nuclear energy is another bioavailable, geothermal. And so that's they're doing that. They're the early birds to this at a country level.
And that's what it takes.
Yep, that's what it takes. And another thing that is kind of shocking is the U.S. dollar was primarily used in El Salvador, right? But still, 70% of the population in that country was unbanked. That doesn't mean they didn't have cell phones. Pretty much everyone had a smartphone there. There's like 4 or 5 big online internet service providers there, as well as mobile companies. I did some research. Shame on you, Apple Pay. Shame on you, Google Pay. Where were you? You weren't able to make them banked on the U.S. dollar.
And now you don't have a choice.
Now you don't have a choice.
They're going to bank themselves.
Yeah, they don't need you anymore. But anyway, signing out, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in another video. Bitcoin Mine.
Out.
Respect the BTC. We'll see you soon.